Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I am a luxury lover, contemporary lover, just handbag lover in general. And I really would appreciate it if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would eventually in this lifetime like to get to 5,000 subscribers, but at this point I'd be really happy with 3,500. Anyway, I'm getting ready for work. It's Monday morning, and I just wanted to come here and do a quick video and talk about something that's really been bugging me for the whole weekend. So it seems like Coach has people really triggered. And this kind of all goes in with the same concept of there being a luxury hierarchy among YouTubers. So I've come across several videos, more than usual, and I'm not going to dog anybody or name names, but, you know, I've come across videos talking about why people won't buy Coach and, you know, what's Coach doing, and they're trying to be Louis Vuitton. First of all, nobody cares why you don't buy Coach, because when you say something like that and then get into your explanation, basically what you're really saying is that, you know, this is beneath you. And I know that there's brands that I've talked about that I won't buy because they're just personally not to my taste. But we're not talking about things that aren't to somebody's taste, because when they really talk about what they don't like, they're talking about things like, oh, I wouldn't buy a bag that has cherries on it because that's really juvenile. Or they're saying that they don't like the big C, but they wear bags with big LVs on it. So it really is, you don't want to advertise that you're wearing Coach because Coach is beneath you. And, you know, nothing really appeals to me. And just basically saying, you know, what becomes the overwhelming theme and something that people point out is that they'd rather put their money into something that is going to be more valuable in the future. And one particular video that I saw talks about, you know, the bags aren't an investment, but you could at least hand them down or pass them down. Well, the last that I've heard, or the last that I've seen, there's Coach bags from the 60s that are still being passed down and passed around and still used today. And in fact, they're very much in demand, and they're very pricey to buy if you can find them. And especially if you can find them in really good condition. I mean, there's Coach bags from the 90s that sold for $200 that if you find them now and you find them in excellent condition, they're selling for somewhere around $800, $900, $1,500, depending on the bag. I know that there's one particular wicker bag, and I always talk about how I'll never spend big money on straw, but there's one particular Coach bag that has the hang tags trimmed around the whole top of the bag. And that bag I've seen listed minimally for $1,200. So what's going on here? I mean, is my math like some kind of strange girl math when you consider something that's bought for $200 back in the 90s that's selling for $800 today versus something that you paid $300 for in the 90s that maybe you'll get your $300 back for today? I mean, I really can't think of any particular Louis Vuitton styles besides the pochette accessoire and some of the very, very limited edition collections, including the Murakami. And the Murakami, it's even selected pieces. And prior to this new Murakami launch, they still weren't extremely expensive. They did go up in price, but not nearly double or triple what the price was back in the 2000s when it was first launched. So maybe I'm just nuts and kind of can't figure that out. But, you know, Coach did a cherries collection, and that's kind of what brought on a lot of this. And, you know, the concept of, oh, well, they're trying to be Louis Vuitton. And they have a bag, and, oh, look, this looks just like the pochette accessoire, talking about the swinger bag. Well, the swinger bag is based on the vintage Coach Wendy, which came out before the Pochette Accessoire. So where is there any copying? So it really just kind of all points to me that you could have done a little bit of investigation before saying these things, but of course you don't want to because Coach is really lowly and you wouldn't consider buying that. You know, and if you were going to consider any of these things, you know, it would be X, Y, and Z. Well, I could tell you one of the things that was brought up also was the Coach denim collection and, you know, how they timed it near Louis Vuitton. Well, first of all, they've done denim collections in the past. It was nothing new. Secondly, the denim collection that Coach has is a million times better made than the Louis Vuitton denim collection. I mean, hands down, the quality is much, much, much higher. And, you know, if you're going to judge something having a particular initial on it as being more valuable without actually looking at the item and looking at what specifically you're getting for 5 or 6 times the money besides, you know, the value, I just kind of don't know what to say. And people have said, you know, it's the prestige. Well, I don't really see that much prestige to justify the kind of price increases that a lot of these companies have had. I've been buying luxury since the late 90s, okay? While other people were having babies and raising kids. And, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that because it certainly would be a much better use of my time. But I was parading around New York City going into all the department stores and the luxury shops and buying things, you know, because I didn't have any obligations and I had a good job and I had some money and I treated myself well. I got to a point where I just didn't want to do it anymore because there was nothing that I saw that was that much different, and then got back into it again maybe 10 years ago or so. But, you know, I don't see the prestige in something simply being more expensive than another brand. I don't see that there's anything at this point that justifies paying those exorbitant prices because I don't get my self-worth from buying a particular handbag or using a label. Yes, I do love luxury. There are definitely bags that I love. I'm not going to stop buying it, but like my friend Yota said, it's not normal to buy a luxury bag every weekend. And to constantly keep, you know, minimally $2,500 to $3,000 bags coming into your house, it's just absolute insanity. It's something that you do maybe a couple of times a year when you have something that's really special, but it's not normal to constantly just keep buying and buying and buying and then reselling what you buy in order to buy something more. For what? I mean, I don't understand what the gratification is. I can understand when you get bored with a bag after you've had it for a while and used it, but to just keep buying for the sake of buying, I don't get. And, you know, it's just not something that I would do. And if you want to do it, hey, you do you. What could I say? But I just don't understand, you know, how people can say that they enjoy the prestige and, you know, how it makes them feel. Me personally, I feel good when I know that I look really coordinated when I go out of the house and dress nicely. Having a nice bag as part of that. Excuse me, my sinuses are really bad in the mornings. You know, having a nice bag as part of that. Having accessories that look really well with the rest of my outfit is important, but I don't feel any different whether I'm carrying a Coach bag or the little Valentino bag that I'm taking to work. If you haven't seen that video, go back and take a look because I got it for a steal. Anyway, you know, if that's how you get your sense of value and a feeling of good about yourself, you know, I think that you really kind of need to reassess the rest of your life and the rest of your priorities, because certainly there must be something besides a bag that's going to kind of do that for you. I just don't understand. But back to the point at hand. Coach isn't trying to be anything but themselves. And at this point, they don't have to be. They have some of the hottest bags that are out now. There are people who are waiting and waiting and are desperate for a lot of the new release bags that they're selling for. These Kiss Lock bags that were released at $600 are regularly listing for over $2,000. It's not happening with other brands. It's certainly not. And of course, it can't, because you can't sell a $3,000 bag for $9,000. Nobody's going to buy it. And people are barely buying it at the $3,000 price tag. So, you know, if you don't like a particular brand because you feel that it's beneath you, you don't need to get into a rant about it. You don't need to, you know, talk about all the whys that are wrong with it. You know, again, I say the brands that I don't like for particular reasons, but it's not because I feel that they're beneath me or that I don't think that this is something that's, you know, not worthy to carry. I might not like it for a particular reason and you might not, and that's fine. But we kind of all know what the message is behind those videos, and the only thing that I could say is don't listen. Don't listen, because, you know, they're the ones with the problem. And they're the ones who kind of need to get over it. And I love my Coach. I'm going to keep buying Coach. And, you know, it doesn't have to be anything but Coach. I'm more than satisfied. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I need to finish up and leave the house. It's still dark out. Hoping it's going to be a good day. I'll see you all soon. Bye.